COVID has broken out aboard an Australian warship carrying humanitarian aid to assist virus-free Tonga after the tsunami. And a clinical trial of a vaccine that's tailored to target the Omicron COVID variant gets underway. Sri Lanka says it will pay compensation to more than 1 million rice farmers for the failure of their crops after the government banned the import of chemical fertilizers. The agriculture minister said around $200 million would be distributed to the affected farmers. The government last year attempted to convert the country into a 100% organic farming nation by banning imported fertilizers. Kurdish forces in northeast Syria say that in the coming hours they expect to regain control of more sections of a prison where Islamic State fighters have tried to mount a takeover and mass breakout. There have been fierce clashes since IS overran the jail in Hasaka last Thursday. The siege has continued despite reinforcements from the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces and backing from US fighter jets. The Netherlands will relax COVID-19 measures on Wednesday, despite the country recording record infection rates in recent weeks. Hospitality venues, such as bars and restaurants, and even museums, have been shut since mid-December. The Dutch Prime Minister says nearly 90% of people have now been vaccinated, and it's hoped the surge in infections won't impact on already overwhelmed hospitals. The singer Elton John has cancelled 2 performances on his farewell tour after contracting COVID. A spokesman for the arena in the US city of Dallas, where the concerts were to be staged, said Sir Elton was fully vaccinated and boosted and had mild symptoms.
Police launch an investigation into whether parties at Downing Street violated coronavirus rules. A spokesman says Boris Johnson didn't think he'd broken the law. More tough talk to prevent the Ukraine crisis reaching a tipping point. President Biden says he'd consider personal sanctions on Vladimir Putin if Russia should invade Ukraine. At least 46 people are killed as Tropical Storm Ana hits Madagascar and Mozambique. Thousands have had to leave their homes. Also, the so-called forever chemicals damaging our wildlife. How plastic particles from saucepans and packaging are creating a global challenge to our lives. And we take a look at climate change issues, bringing you stories with big implications for our planet's future. And this week on Climate Critical, we focus on pollution from plastics and indeed other chemicals, and a key report showing that levels far exceed what the Earth can safely support. We're producing 50 times more chemicals than we were in 1950, according to a report published by the American Chemical Society. And that figure is projected to triple again by 2050. Many of the 350,000 chemicals now produced, including the likes of plastics, pesticides, industrial chemicals, pharmaceutical products, do find their way into the natural environment. And scientists warn these pollutants are bringing irreversible change to the planet, pushing species, including our own, beyond a safe operating space, as they call it. Well, this comes just as a study here in the UK found toxic forever chemicals, as they're called, used in non-stick saucepans and food packaging, have been found in otters across England and Wales. These are PFASs. They're also used in waterproof clothing, stain-resistant products, fire retardants, you name it. The chemicals are linked to all sorts of problems: pregnancy complications, liver disease, cancer and other illnesses. And scientists from Cardiff University say concentrations of these compounds in otters act as a guide to levels of pollution in the environment. The US Coast Guard says it's looking for 39 people missing after a boat reportedly capsized off Florida. The accident occurred on Saturday, but a survivor was rescued on Tuesday. He said the vessel had sailed from the Bahamas but had run into bad weather. Sunday's quarter-final at the African Cup of Nations is not going to be played at the stadium in Cameroon, where 8 people died in a crash on Monday. The Confederation of African Football's president said there had to be an absolute guarantee that fans would be safe. Instead, the match will be played at another stadium in the capital, Yaoundé. Nancy Pelosi has confirmed she's going to run for re-election to Congress and may still stay on as House Speaker, despite previously saying she would be stepping down after 2022. The 81-year-old has served in Congress since 1987. She says her decision to stand again was to defend American democracy through legislation on voting rights and other issues.